Hey there folks, I'm coming to you today with another gun video. This isn't going to be really so much of a review as kind of a story of how I came to have three Smith & Wesson M&P 9 compact pistols. You see two of them here. Couldn't really get three very well in frame, but there is a third one. Those who've been subscribers to the channel probably know that for probably the past almost 2 years I have had as a range and competition gun a Springfield Armory XDM 4.5 that I had TrueGlow night sights on, and that I carried as a CCW holder a Ruger SR9C, and that I also a couple of months ago bought as a training and practice weapon a Smith & Wesson M&P 22. And each of those guns very, very happy with. But I began to be very concerned about the fact that I was shooting with three different guns from three different manufacturers. Now, the primary guns, the XDM and the SR9C, were both striker-fired weapons and both functioned very similarly. So I was always comfortable from that perspective. But once I got that Smith & Wesson M&P 22, I really started thinking hard about going to a single platform, one manufacturer for all the guns that I use, just to be uniform from a training perspective, from the perspective of what I use in the range, what I use in the competition, is what I use when I carry. From a pistol perspective, uniformity, so that there are no issues whatsoever in the training and use of those weapons. Most professional gun trainers will tell you that uniformity of platform is a good idea. And that's something I started to think about. I have a good friend, you've heard me talk about him here before, my buddy John Regano. He started off with Smith & Wesson M&P platform, the M&P 9 compact, and I think he had a car as well that he bought as kind of a light carry gun, and never carried it. He's always just shot with that M&P 9 compact, and he shoots well. He's been doing well with it. He recently bought a second one and sent it off to Bowie Tactical for a number of different modifications, one of which being a Leopold Delta Point scope milled into the slide. But he had Bowie Tactical do a trigger job on it and some stippling and all kinds of crazy stuff. And that took several months. I think it took about 6 months. It was pretty expensive too, and he finally got the gun back, and he's been shooting great with it. So I've been also thinking about trying to get a red dot optic on my competition firearm as well. So I'd say all this to say, a lot of things have been floating around in my head. I had considered going with Sig Sauer as a single platform, and actually bought a Sig 226. Always kind of admired the gun. It's the gun that the Navy SEALs use. And I bought an older West German made model, and for a number of reasons, I've just decided that's not the way to go. Went to some training at TDI Tactical, some defensive knife training, and I got the chance to talk to the guys at Tactical Defense Institute, TDI, including David Bowie. And a lot of those guys that are there, that instructors, are also armorers. And I really, sat them down, cornered them, and say, look, tell me what you guys see out here. I'm thinking about taking my XDM and maybe putting a red dot optic on it. Maybe I'll do it to my SR9C. Tell me what you think. And these guys who see, hundreds of guns come through every year, told me some things that kind of shook me up a little bit. The one thing that they said is that they have never ever seen a Ruger SR9C make it through their handgun course, which they'll shoot about 1,800 rounds over the course of a weekend with their handgun 1 through 5, I think it is, or 1 through 3. And they said they've never seen a Ruger SR9C make it through that and not just flat out quit and give up and fail to function at all, which really surprised me. They didn't have great things to say about the XDM either. One of the feedbacks that I got from one of the guys was, there's really only two manufacturers out there that are worth having right now, and that's Glock and Smith & Wesson with the M&P. So I really took that to heart and said, you know what, I've really enjoyed and like shooting my M&P 22. I'm just going to go ahead and go with the M&P Compact. So I've sold my my XDM 9mm. I sold one of my SR9Cs. I had one for my wife as well, and I'm probably going to get rid of that one too. And now I find myself with 3 M&P 9 compacts. The first 2 that I picked up are right here, and they're equipped with the factory night sights, as you can see. I don't like the factory night sights quite as well as I like the night sights that I had on my XDM, the True Glows. Let me go ahead and take a moment, and I know a lot of guys out there like to see a safety check a gun. Clearly both of these don't have a magazine in it. There's no ammo in this magazine. No ammo here. Empty. Empty. Okay, so we're clear. So now I won't get any nasty messages from YouTube from people mad because I didn't safety check the weapon. But I've fired both of these on the range. I've put about 300 rounds each through these guns, and I like the night sights when the lights are out, but the third Smith & Wesson 9C that I have does not have the night sights. It has the standard white 3 dots on it, and when you're shooting under normal lighting conditions, I definitely like the other sights, the non-night sights, better. I can see them better. It's hard to explain, but other than that, I really do like both of these guns. I've already started some interesting modification projects going on. If you look closely, you might notice that the triggers on these 2 guns are different. And that's because this gun has the standard factory trigger on it. This gun does not. I bought the Apex forward sear set trigger kit, the Fss Trigger kit, and had it installed on this gun. And that's given the gun a much better trigger. I was pleasantly surprised by the trigger. I think since my buddy bought his M&P 9C, Smith has done some work on this trigger, I believe, because the factory trigger isn't bad. You can see there's some considerable take up there. Okay, it's right there where the resistance starts, so there's some considerable take up there. But then as you pull, it's pretty heavy trigger. It's pretty crisp, pretty clean. No real reset. Just a little bit of one. Very hard to perceive. Well, a fair amount of take up though, and a pretty stiff trigger. Again, let's see that. Just a little bit of a reset, not much. You can kind of hear it. Now let's compare that to the Apex Fss Trigger. Okay, you can see this is an aluminum trigger. It's metal, and it doesn't have that hinge factor to it. It has more of a standard Glock-like trigger safety, which I like. Okay, very little take up and much lighter. But as it is, there's just almost no, there's even less perceptible reset than there is on the factory trigger. But oh, that's nice. That is a nice trigger. Almost all the take-up is gone, and it's only about 3.5–4 pounds now. So that is a great trigger. I've actually got another one of the Apex triggers coming, and what I'm going to do with that third gun that's got the regular sights, I found a guy that sent his gun off to Bowie Tactical to have a lot of the work that I want done. He had the slide milled out, and he had the Delta, the Leopold Delta point. This is the Delta point right here. This is the 3.5 MOA version, the small dot version. He had the 7.5 MOA, the triangle version, put on his gun. You know, had Bowie do it. Spent the money, waited the amount of time. I think he said when he did it, it only took a couple of months. But he got it back, and he didn't particularly like the red dot optic. He said the triangle kind of messed with him with his astigmatism, which is understandable. So he was looking for someone that wanted to trade slides, and that worked for me. So I traded slides with him, paid a little extra. Right now we're in the middle of waiting for the slides to ship. So I'm going to have a Bowie Tactical Delta point milled into the slide on one of my guns. So I'm going to try both the 3.5 MOA and the 7.5 MOA, the dot and the triangle, and see which one I like better. I might switch back and forth between the two, because I think I'm going to be able to do that with the way it's mounted into the slide. I'll know more once I get it. So it's been kind of an interesting ride the past probably three weeks or so that I've been kind of doing all this, but I'm pretty close to where I want to be with the system. And again, I loved my XDM, I loved my Ruger SR9C. I really didn't have any complaints out of either one. My only complaint with my Springfield XDM is that when I was in competition, when we did mag changes with retention, and I had to drop a mag that had some rounds still in it, that mag release button was extremely hard, and I was really slow doing mag changes because of it. So that was one thing that I felt that Springfield could really improve upon with the XDM. But other than that, I shot great with that gun, and it was super reliable. So I'm certainly not here to trash Ruger or Springfield or those particular models. Still like them, still think they're great guns and have their place. I've just decided to go in a different direction based on some research and feedback, and my own usage of those guns. So once I get everything set up with the slide that's coming in that has the Delta point already milled into it, I'll do another video, and I'll get the Apex trigger put on it, and I think I'm even going to put one of Apex Tactical's RAM components into it to give it a better reset. So it should really be one hot gun when it's all done. And I've spent a boatload of money over the past 3 weeks. Don't tell my wife. All right, that's all for now. Hope you enjoyed this video. Take care. God bless. We'll see you in the next video.